Hey everybody, this is Eli Freestone, and you're watching my Project 3 review video for Mobile Development Frameworks 1, Term 1309. So first off, I'm displaying with Air Server from my iPad. Let's go ahead and get this guy going here. Unfortunately, time is pretty much always an issue with me. It was even more so this week, though, because of all the floodings we've had out here in Colorado. Thankfully, my family and home came out relatively unscathed, but our power out in our neighborhood's been pretty spotty this week. And with all the closed roads and diverted traffic, getting around town is difficult to say the least. So I was able to put a good bit of time into my code. I'm really happy with how I achieved everything within code, but I didn't really have any time at all to really, beautify the app, I guess you could say. It's very drab, it's very plain. I'm not very happy with it at all. Even my splash screen and my icons are actually something I made last week before I made the little record icon and kind of ran with that. Uh, but unfortunately, time is it just hasn't been there. One thing I'm actually probably going to change after I finish this video even is adding um, the city and state to the end of each table view cell. I was originally planning on doing another custom cell with an image and two lines, one for the name of the business and the other for the city and state. Unfortunately, it just hasn't come together yet. But with the iPad, at least, I definitely have plenty of room, and it shouldn't be difficult at all to add that in to each cell. But yeah, so let's go ahead and pop into some of them. Again, like I said, there's been next to no time to beautify it. It's very drab, it's very plain, but it does function as it's supposed to, which I'm pretty proud of the coding side of everything. The map is still zoomable, and all right, so let's go ahead and pop back and show you a couple others here. All right, and then we'll go ahead and go to the map with all of them. This one I actually have a check in before it makes the map to set the span based on the device. So the zoom is different. Well, it's about the same. It looks about the same, I should say, between the iPad and the iPhone. But if I actually keep them both at the same, uh, if I have the iPhone looking really good, then the iPad is really zoomed out. You can actually almost see Europe. It's zoomed out so far. So I did do a check to make sure that it looked good. All right, so let's go ahead. We've got Freestone Music in Colorado, Funky Monkey Guitars in Austin, Texas, uh, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and show you the edit here. I'm going to start off by deleting the Freestone Music, the one in Colorado. Uh, Not only is it the first one on there, but it's also kind of out in the middle of nowhere by itself compared to all the other pins, so it's really easy to notice when it's gone. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll take care of Rockstar Guitars in LA, and then show that that guy's gone as well. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the iPhone sim just really quick, just to show that the map zoom is different. I have it set up with a check. So yeah, anyways, let's go do a really quick run through of my code here. A good bit of it is from last week and the week before, although I did have to actually kind of completely rebuild it by hand while I was powerless. Unfortunately, the local versions of Project 2 would not open in Xcode for some reason, and I wasn't able to get to my my external hard drive because we didn't have any power at the time, and it requires power. So yeah, we're building the cells and the map here, or actually we're building the cells here, and then building the map, and it took me actually quite a bit of time to really work through the logic of how I was going to put the latitude and longitude, and then also be able to use it for all the different needs. So what I ended up doing is actually creating an NS mutable array, but with dictionary items, so they all have keys. And then for the loc item, I actually have both latitude and longitude as an embedded array of doubles, and then I pass it along that way. That way I can display it in the detail view. I can also pass it into the maps for the annotations. And let's see. I actually do the same type of pass in both my first view and second view. I was trying to get it so I could actually do the same type of, like I'm casting into NS string and then changing it, casting again to doubles. I wanted to try and set it up in some way that I could actually then pass the first casting of it from view to view, but unfortunately it didn't work out the way I was hoping. So I did have to do it in both views. But yeah, it works out really well that way, and I'm definitely proud of how the code came out. Um, the looks of the app is definitely a different story. It's functional, but it's seriously bland and boring. I'm just not very happy with it. But unfortunately, that's just how it goes sometimes. I just didn't have the time to put into it, beyond uh, putting in the time for the code. There was some, such as the logic to pass the Latin longe that I really spent a bit more time than I should have on. Uh, but I did get it working, so that's what really counts. So yeah, I guess that's about it. This has been Eli Freestone, Project 3 review for MDF1, term 1309. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.